So that was a much longer road than intended, but 64 is up and running. We're not quite there. I'm not sure why, but the RF picture is way better than the RGB. But we are up and running, and we had to do some fairly serious work. I'll go into that in a minute. Unfortunately, we do still have a problem. So if I mute this, if anyone knows Bubble Bobble, you might want to close your ears. It's not a happy bunny. And we'll stop that there. So the VIC-2 is dead, and unfortunately it's one of the really pretty ceramic ones. We had bad RAM. We had 2 MOS chips that were marginal. So we've gradually gotten better, but not actually got it to fully boot until we changed the VIC. I do have my suspicions about that, so I think we're going to be throwing that into the bin fairly shortish. If I can take the lid off while I'm filming and throw it forward. So we have changed all the RAM. That was MT RAM. We've changed these 3 chips, which were MOS chips. That was red hot. That was doing nothing. Somehow the PLA has survived. We had what I thought was a bad ROM. It wasn't. That's been socketed in that. But the real killer in the end was the VIC-2. So we've got a riser in here with one of the HMOS VIC-2s in. And obviously I've chucked a couple of heat sinks on the usual suspects. But yeah, what was happening is it was starting to boot. We were getting bus contention. And after about a second of trying to boot, the RAS line would disappear. So obviously that involved chasing around here, seeing what was going on, and we had a MOS chip involved. We had MT RAM, so those are the first 2 things that come out on anything that's playing up. Any MOS logic and any MT memory chips. I could probably have gotten away without changing the RAM, but there was one that wasn't looking great, and it's MT RAM. The MOS chips one was definitely unhappy, and again, they're known to be a weak point. I had the chips in stock, so they've been changed. PLA, I tested it, and it was not showing as a problem, and I really wanted to believe that that was the case, but obviously bus contention issues and all sorts of weirdness. It's like, probably the PLA. But last ditch attempt before I started going down the city route was to swap out the VIC. The HMOS VICs are a lot cheaper, so this little board allows you to use an HMOS spot VIC in a normal board. I think I might have that the wrong way round. I think the original is HMOS, and I can't remember what process the 8 series chips are. Unfortunately, the SID is no more, so there's at least 1 or more voices there that aren't happy, which makes me think, because the VIC and the SID both use a 12 volt line, and it makes me wonder if something bad has happened with the 12 volt line. So I think what I'm going to do is see if that power supply could be gutted. I don't think it can. It looks like it's one of the sealed ones, so we'll arrange an alternative power supply for that. But other than that, it's up running, all the ports are working, keyboard's working, the SD2 IEC works. So this one will now be going up here in the corner. The Amiga's coming back up today as well. The Amiga's going to gain a couple of heat sinks on some vulnerable chips. After some work at the weekend, the Amiga is now running games quite happily. I've got a really nice soundbar I want to use with the Amiga. So we'll get that potentially set up. And then what I want now is a BBC and or an Archimedes, and we had the Spectrum Plus 2 running. I need to find a way of using the Spectrum Plus 2 without it being an absolute donkey. But yeah, we're getting there. As I say, obviously it all starts up. One thing I'm going to do is get the mod to get rid of the tuner, because as you can see, we've got a bit of jail bars on that one, but that screen is awful, so we'll try and clean that up. I don't want to go down the route of Quarry, because obviously that's over 120 quid for a machine that really I don't think deserves it, and might just make it look naff. So yeah, we're there. Oh, I'll turn that noisy thing off now as well. So yeah, that's it. Take care.